Hi friends, welcome to today's video. So we are going to talk about HDFC Bank today because it had a fall last week. This was on the 18th. The date is mentioned down over here. So this was on the 18th where it was trading around 842, and then on the 19th it fell to about 5%, and then the day after on 20th Friday closing it fell to about another 2%. So if we see the total fall, it fell from here to here for about 7.3%. So we're going to be talking about this and we will get into why did the fall happen, right? So what triggered the fall? We'll discuss about that. We'll also get into the fundamentals of it. We will check the income statement and the balance sheet and see whether this is really a buying opportunity. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just going to talk about the specifics and then you can take a call of what you really need to do about this. Okay. So, why did this fall happen? The immediate reason behind this was a panic that was created by a resignation letter that was submitted by the part chairman, Mr. Chakraborty. So, if you see the letter that he had submitted, so here he mentioned, I hereby tender my resignation from as part-time chairman and independent director on the board of HDFC Bank. And the reason that he mentioned was certain happenings and practices within the bank that I have observed over the last 2 years are not in congruence with my personal values and ethics. So that was the main reason for the fall. Honestly, if you're an investor, that particular line is going to bother you because banks usually runs on trust. People keep their savings there, businesses depends on them. A lot of businesses take out loans and investors value them based on governance, discipline, and predictability. So when someone senior exits and says something vague like this, the market immediately starts filling in the blanks. So this was more of a knee-jerk reaction. Markets didn't like it. If there was an issue, people want specifics. If there were no major issues, then people want clarity. So that's exactly what happened. Now, if we see the fundamentals, let me open the screener app here, and I already have HDFC Bank open here. Now, if we see the fundamentals, and if I take the 10 years chart, open the PE ratio, you can see that it is at the lowest PE, whereas the EPS is at one of its highest. And even if I look at the price to book ratio for the last 10 years, you can see that it's again at the lowest of around 2%, whereas the book value is going higher and higher. If I scroll further down and look at the profit and loss statement, the revenues are all-time high, 2021 onwards. So for the last 5 years, it's gone from 128 to 135 to 170 to 283 to 336, right? And if you look at the net profits, it's gone from 31,000 to 38,000, 46,000, 65,000 to 73,000. So there's no issue from the revenue or the profit point of view. Revenue is at all-time high, net profits are at all-time high, EPS, both quarterly and yearly, is also very strong. So from a pure operating business point of view, HDFC Bank is not behaving like a bank that is in distress. Also, look at the ownership, right? So if I go further down into the investors, so the promoters had holdings until June of 2023, and after that, all of the holdings are either with FIIs, DIIs, or public, right? So if you look at the FII holdings, it's at all-time high. If you look at the DII holding, it's at all-time high. But if you look at the public holdings, it has been reducing, and it has gone down from 17% to about 15% now. What we also have from the RBI bank is they've given a reassurance that there were no governance lapses and no material concerns flagged. That doesn't mean investors should ignore the event, not at all, but it does mean we have to be fair in how we interpret it. Now, the evidence seems to suggest that the market may have reacted to fear first, while facts are still painting a much calmer picture. So, in conclusion, what's the real takeaway here? To me, this looks like one of those classic market moments where the headline is louder than the balance sheet itself. Yes, the resignation letter was unsettling, the words especially used within the resignation letter, the things and practices that are happening within the bank are not in congruence with my personal values and ethics. It's a very vague statement. So I think this statement is what created the panic. However, the picture is really different when you see the revenues, the profits, and the balance sheet of the bank itself. If you found this breakdown useful, subscribe for more videos like this, where we try to cut through the noise and look at stocks the way long term investors should. All right, see you in the next one.